My name is Abhishek Jain and welcome back to the InfluxDB tutorial series part 4. In today's video, we're going to understand how we can extract the Docker stats, in terms of capturing the uses of CPU and memory for any given container, and then how we can upload that into the InfluxDB so that we can easily visualize the trend, how the memory usage and the CPU usage is happening over the period of time for any given container. And same solution can be extended to the multiple containers if you want. Right. So let's quickly do the recap because we're gonna use most of the stuff which I covered in the previous part. So in first part, we just set up the InfluxDB, understand the basic concept of InfluxDB version 2. Then we understood how we can use a Python library to just upload the data. And in the last video, we understood how we can, upload the data which we are getting on a CSV, which keeps getting generated in the regular interval. And in today's video, which is a part 4, we're going to understand how we can first extract the Docker container, CPU, and the memory usage. And then we're going to upload that to the InfluxDB, and then we're going to visualize that same data on a InfluxDB. Okay, so for that, what I have done is I have just created a simple method, and here I'm using a Docker module. So just to install this Docker module in Python, it's very straightforward. All you need to do is just pip install Docker and you're good to go. Right, so it's already installed. And then if you just see what I'm doing, I'm just creating a client object by using a Docker from environment. What it does is whatever the environment Docker daemon you have installed, it's actually get connected with that. And then you have to use this client, and then we have an API module, and then I'm calling it stats. Here you have to just feed in the container ID, and then it will provide you the stats. And I'm going to put this stream option as a false because I don't want to continuously get the data, because I'm going to run this in a regular interval rather than continuously getting the data. Once we have the stats, right, which is actually nothing but it's just a JSON object. And this is where, that JSON is going to contain the total uses of CPU and saying the memory usage and the system CPU, right? So this is how this method is actually going to capture it. And I'm just converting that into the JSON object, which I'm just returning with this method, right? So this is just a simple code, right, through which you can extract the CPU and the memory uses. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use this method, extract these values and put it in an InfluxDB. Right, so let's quickly create a send stats. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use most of this stuff. So I'm just going to copy this code from my previous part and these two things. So this initialization we need basically, right? So what we are doing here. So let me just put what this line does so that next time. So we are just initializing a bunch of variables, creating an InfluxDB client, then just getting the right API from that client. Okay, I don't need this CSV because it's not needed. This I needed. I don't want this. Don't need this part. We only need record point and all these stuff. So just keep. This is the code which we just needed, right? So now what we need is basically we have to just initialize the variable. Some of the variable which we need to initialize, because what we're going to do, we're going to actually call this method which I defined in this location, right? So here, what we're going to do. Okay, so first we have to call this. Okay, and we have to feed in the container ID. Right, so we need a container. So first here, let's define a container. First name. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a container which since I'm running my InfluxDB, so I can use the same container. I can get the container ID as well. Right, so for that, what I'm going to do, ID, put it here. So we have container name, container ID, and we want to run this for a specific, so we say interval to fetch stats Okay, so basically what I'm saying is this is the center on which I'm going to run my Docker. I'm going to execute my method, which is actually going to extract the stats and put and going to give me the JSON object. Right, so I just need to pass container. So what I can do, I can just say make it a variable. So here we can pass container. Right, so if I do so, this is actually going to give me the okay, and I need to bring from Docker client, and it has this file. And if you just see left hand is on my Docker container directory, and inside that I have this file which is container stats collector, and inside that file I have this method get container stats, right? So I have to import that. Okay, and then say asterisk, right? So now it can recognize this method. Okay, that's good. The next part which we have to do is I'm just gonna copy things which I have already written. You can save some time. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save the output of this, which is nothing but it's just a JSON. If we just look at the JSON, JSON is having a CPU users, memory users, and total system CPU users, right? So I've just extracted that from the JSON object and put it in an individual variable. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna load Docker stats for Influx. Just to easily just to make sure. Here I can say container name, and I can use this container name. Cool. And then field I want CPU users. So users, then no users. It's good. We define our data point. Once we have data point, we can upload that. Let's so here we can say usage. We just have to create this bucket. So I'm going to go back to here, bucket, create bucket, Docker resource users, create. So, okay, so we got this. Cool. If I just come back, so we are good. We created this bucket. We have things switching. Cool. So I think if we run this, we should be able to see that. So what I'm gonna do is so okay, so it seems like point is written. What I can do, I can just load some data so that if we see currently there is not much happening on InfluxDB container, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run some processes which is actually uploading data so that we can have some higher usage on the CPU side. Okay, so if I just come back here, so let's get to the UI part and see if so. I'm just going in a data explorer. Docker resource usage. We have this load Docker measurement. We have CPU, InfluxDB container name. Past 1 minute. If I submit this, oh, good. We can see this, the CPU usage, which looks good. And you can see the trend, right? It's keep increasing. Changes to 5 minutes and see looks pretty good, right? So it seems like CPUs keep continuing increasing. If I just put memory usage, see again memory usage is so well. If I just put them straight line because the difference is very high. Okay, so this looks good. This is how you can easily just import your data from Docker container stats to the InfluxDB, and you don't have to do anything. You can go to the UI and you can start seeing this. So this looks pretty good. Quick values. whatever histogram, whatever we want to see, like skirt, heat map, histograms. Right? So it's pretty good. That's pretty much it. So it's very straightforward. So I hope you learned something. And if you have any feedback or suggestion, if you want me to come up with some more complicated or advanced uses of InfluxDB, I would love to do that. Probably I will be doing that in near future, because this is a very straightforward thing where I'm just using a one container. You can extract all the containers, extend this method to make it more complicated, right? Give bunch of bunch of containers and get that data, and then you can just upload it to InfluxDB so that you can visualize the multiple containers CPU level. That's it from my side for this video. If you have any feedback or suggestion, please feel free to put that into the comment section, and I will be uploading all those codes which I have used so far on a GitLab, and I will provide the repo link into the description. As always, thanks for watching this, and stay healthy and keep learning the new things.